welcome to my channel. My name is Dawn, I'm the Reclusive Crafter, and today we are going to be doing a little pocket making section. I've got a pocket here that I've stuffed with a few bits and pieces, very simple to make, and this will be for the Georgian Romance collection that I'm currently working on, and I've just stuffed it with a lot of ephemera that you can find on Scrimping Mummy's Ko-fi sites and also her Facebook page. So this will be a design team project that I'm working on, and I want to put together some envelopes. So what I've done already, I've just prepared a few 6x6 squares, which I'm going to make some pockets out of if I can remember how to do them. And that was just literally cut from the digitals from the Georgian Romance kit. So they're really simple to do. I'm going to try and get at least 4 done, and I'm going to do 4 relatively the same, not necessarily like this one, but I've seen a couple of videos recently of various ways to do like envelope pockets, which I think are very pretty and I think will serve very well for this particular journal. I want it to be very feminine and very pretty because of the type of journal it's going to be. I'm aiming to try and release the final journal near to Valentine's Day as I can, so it'll probably be released at the end of January. That's kind of the date that I'm working on. And what I'm going to do is to make a start on these. So initially, if you go corner to corner on the triangle axis and just make a little indentation there, and then you bring this one not quite up to the center, the square not quite, the corner even, not quite up to the center, and just burnish that down. And then the same again with this one, up to the center and burnish that one down. And then this one folds up, and you can do the folds wherever you want. There's no real measuring involved here. Very, very simple to do. I've seen lots of videos and lots of people doing the same style pockets. So you, like I say, you really can make these to your own want, if you like, to match whatever you're doing. I am using quite thick cardstock with this. I think this is 200 GSM that I'm working with at the moment. So it's quite a substantial... Sorry, what I just did there, I just fold that third corner down slightly there. You can trim that off if you want to. I quite like leaving it over, just to give that little bit of extra rigidity, which helps for longevity in the journal. And now I'm going to fold this one over, and then that makes the flap for the envelope. But because I want these to be open envelopes, what I'm going to do is trim this one off here. So I'm going to trim this flap off, and I'm going to do this with a few of them. So this is going to be like a mini mass make. And then I think it was Roxy Creations that that did these type of pockets. And then what you do is you stick that in there, but you do it with a different paper. So if you can imagine, for instance, that this one has been cut off, you can pop that in there, and that kind of is what you get. So I'm going to make these 4 up first, and then I'm going to decide what triangle to put in what pocket, basically. So that's the base for the first one. And now I'm going to do the same with the other 3. So literally press it down there, you fold it over. These are probably better done with non-directional papers, because then you don't have to worry about getting them absolutely the right way round, which would be quite difficult with the amount of folds that go into this. And then that one comes up there. And again, I'm giving it quite a heavy burnish because of the weight of the paper. I'm going to fold that one in there. And this is all done by eye. There's no measure. The only measuring involved is literally getting your 6-inch square, which is quite a nice size for a journal. If I just find a bit of paper, this would be the normal page of a journal. So if you have a look at that, that gives you quite a nice size for your journal there. So the 6x6 seems to be the sort of optimum size, although you could do them smaller or larger if you wanted to. I think probably maybe 7x7 if you wanted it to cover the entire page. You might even get away with an 8x8. I've not tried it with an 8x8, I'm not going to lie, so I don't know if that would actually be too big, but it's just trial and error, you know. If you don't get it right first time or how you like it, they're digitals. You can always print off another one and try again. There's no right or wrong with this. It's just a case of getting it how you want it. So that's the second base done. And I'm going to put that one there. And then we're going on to the third one. They're very quick and simple to do. Very quick. I wonder if... I say there's no measuring involved, but I just wonder if it might look better if it was a little bit more accurate. So I'm just using my guides here to give me a little bit of a, just to get these little bits straight, perhaps might be better, but it's a little bit more faffing about, to be honest with you. And do you know what? I've dived straight in. I haven't said hello to anybody. I haven't asked you how your weekend's going or anything else. So if you haven't been here before, welcome. If you're one of my regular viewers or you have seen any of my videos before, welcome back. Lovely to have you again. I hope you are doing well and all getting ready for Christmas. Gosh, it's so close now, isn't it? I have got literally a week left at work and then I finish for Christmas. Oh, I didn't do that very well, did I? I folded that down too far. Yeah, I've got a week left for Christmas. Oh, yeah, for my Christmas break. And then when I go back after Christmas, I'm off all over Christmas, which is lovely. And then when I go back on the 5th of January, that'll be my last working day. And then I am officially retired, so I am so excited. Really excited. I can't even begin to tell you how much it means to me. And yeah, tell me about your plans. What have you got planned for Christmas? Have you got all your Christmas shopping done? What's going on in your life? I've just had, or I've got to get some new tyres on my car done this week. My front tyres are just about had it. Not sure about the back ones, but I'm very lucky in that my son's in the car industry and he's taking my car away today to get that sorted out for me, which I'm very grateful for. I will of course have to pay for it, but at least I'm only having to pay for the tyres, not the actual work involved, so that makes a huge difference. And I must admit, once I finish work completely, I will be very grateful for any monies that I can save anywhere. I must admit, I've never really been too... Sorry, I'm just trying to look at how I want this up. I must admit, I've never really been too... I've been blessed, I should say, with not having to worry too much about what I spend where and when. But I am fully aware that once I finish work properly, I am going to have to be a lot more vigilant, I suppose, about how and where I spend money and what I spend money on. So yeah, I'm trying to get into that mindset now of just making sure that money isn't spent unnecessarily. So that's going to be an interesting little concept for me. Not that I'm boasting about that, but you know, I'm fully aware that there are many people out there that struggle a lot, and you will do so well. Do you know, I'm not making a very good job of this one, really. That's it. Okay. So I just want to, yeah, I'm doing this journal a little bit. I don't know if it's back to front, is it? I really don't know how other people work, to be fair. Normally I put the binder and the signature together first, and then I work through the journal to work out what I want to go where. This time round I'm doing things slightly differently, in that I'm making some of my ephemera and the bits that go in the journal first, before I actually put the journal together. And then when I put the journal together, it's going to be literally a case of slotting bits in where I want it. So that's my plan. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out, but we shall see. So I now want to glue these together, so I'm going to give my glue a little bit of a shake, because I don't know if it's separated out a little bit. Give that a little bit of a shake. It's been a little bit watery when I've used it of late, and I think it might just have needed a bit of a shake, so we'll see. So I'm just going to glue these down, and all we do is, is there a hair on that? Just glue along there like so, and along here, and then pop that up there. And then there is the little pocket. That's very cute, isn't it? I do like these. And the nice thing is they make lovely pockets to be able to just pop all your bits and pieces in, and you can stuff them quite full, actually. This one that I've done here, this is actually a lot bigger than these, and that's going to fill quite a heavy bit of the quite a large section of the paper there. But I must admit, I do like that. And then these are going to be a little bit smaller like that, but you can stuff them really quite full, which is nice. I'm just going to check. Yeah, I just wanted to check that I was in full view, which I am. I'll just get these out of the way before I get all glue on them. And so last week, I didn't want to do that. Last week I got all of my Christmas, well, I say all of, most of my Christmas decorations done. So that's all now done and dusted. I got rid of all the empty boxes back up in the attic today. So I'm very happy about that. I haven't got a load of boxes lying around now waiting to be disposed of up into the attic. So that's done. And then part of my new year will be to sort my attic out. I don't know if you're like me, but honestly, my attic is just horrendous. There is so much stuff up there. I'm not going to lie, most of it could probably be either thrown away or sold or gifted or charitied. Charity, that's a good word, isn't it? Given to charity, I should say. Yeah, there's so much up there, and it's almost an embarrassment. You can barely. I've got a huge loft as well, absolutely huge attic space, and yeah, the amount of stuff that's up there, you can barely, and I mean barely, move. It's, yeah, it's not good. I've got a load of craft stuff up there as well that, to be honest with you, has been up there for years and years and years, and I'm really kind of looking forward to finding it and having a look and see what I can make use of, which would be nice. So yeah, keep an eye in the new year for things that I might be gifting, so that'll be good. I prefer to gift things than just throw things away. I had a bit of a sort earlier this year, my kitchen stuff. I had so much kitchen stuff. I mean, I had a dinner service that you could seat 15 people with, and pots and pans that you could cook for an army for. So I gifted a lot of that to my nieces in the earlier part of this year. So I got a lot of my kitchen sorted out. So I think I'm going to work through. Now I'm going to be effectively retired. I say effectively, I will be. I will be retired in January, which means I'm going to have plenty of time to sort and get all my years and years worth of accumulating and hoarding sorted out. Not that I'm an untidy hoarder, but yeah, I do tend to keep things that, you know what, really should be gotten rid of by now. Right then, so those are the 4 little pockets. So those are ready now to have their little bits. Oh, I can't get my... Get in. Oh, goodness. Does anybody else have trouble getting these pins in? I really am hopeless, aren't I? There we go. Would help if I had a pair of glasses so I could see what I'm doing. I do this every single time I sit down to show you guys something. I leave my glasses where I can't get to them. Right then, I found them. Okay, so now we're going to decide where we want what. So I quite like that in there. This one, do we want that in there? I'm not sure yet. I'm going to just juggle these around and see what I think. Oh, excuse me, that snuck up on me. And we're going to maybe put that one there. So, are we happy with how that looks? I ask mine own self. Oh, dear me, sneezums. Okay, do I like it? I don't know that I do, you know. Let's swap them around a bit and see what they look like. Oh, you see, now I quite like that one there. It's a job, isn't it? Do I want that one? I don't like that one there. Will that one go in there? I don't really like that one there, so I think I'm going to go back to that one on there. And let's try that one in there. I think I prefer that one in there. And do we like that? I quite like that. That's better. Okay, I'm happier with that way round. So that's how those are going to go. Okay, so let's get these glued down. What you do is you glue your little triangle that you've cut off, and you pop it in and hold it in place. Like that. And then you trim that off. I'm not going to trim that off just yet. I just want it to dry a little bit before I trim it off. So that's that one done. I've got a really heavy thick jumper on and I'm really too warm. I might take it off in just a moment. I've been running around all morning doing lots of bits and pieces, and now I've sat down. I'm absolutely boiled, but I know if I take my jumper off I'm going to end up getting cold. Okay, that's that one done. See how quick and easy these are to do, and then you can embellish them however you want to. Now I quite like the idea of lace and things, because I really want this to be a very girly, pretty journal. And yeah, I quite like the idea of laces to trim up with. That's that one down. And then this one. See, in no time at all, we've got 4 little envelopes there. I know they still need embellishing, but there's 4 little envelopes there all ready to go and to do with what you will. Ta 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 ta. There we go. Okay, let me just pop my pin in there because I can see where the hole is now. I've got my glasses on. And I am going to use my craft knife to trim these down with. And the only reason I'm doing that is because I do find I'm a bit more accurate with a knife as opposed to scissors. I'm going to trim that off there. And there we go. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? And now you can embellish this however you want to, which I think is just the simplest and quickest way to actually do your embellishments. And that's that one. Gorgeous. And then this one. I'm quite fond of doing the acetate pockets that I do as well. If you haven't seen any videos of that, have a look back on some of my videos because I use acetate pockets quite frequently. I do like the, I suppose the, I don't know, is it magic? I don't know what you would call it, of just being able to see something that I guess in theory you're not really supposed to see, or that's hidden away. There we go. So that's those 4 now ready to be embellished. Aren't they gorge? Love them. Love, love, love. So let's get this little bit of rubbish out of my way. Pop that there. And I did, I've got some little bits of, I found this, I don't know if you can see that. It's the prettiest little bit of lace with a little bit of gold trim, and I wanted to make use of that somehow, so I'm going to use that. And I've also got, well, I've actually got quite a few little bits and pieces of odd lace, to be honest with you. I've got this little pink, I want pink, that blue pocket that I've done here is blue, obviously. The journal is kind of twofold. It's pink and blue, so I want a combination of pinks and blues. So I'm going to use those as pinks and those as blues. Or actually, no, I might do it that way around because they're pinks more, although there is pink in that. And then this lace here, I quite like that, and it's also, again, don't know if you can see, but it's almost got like a heart design on it, which ironically I thought was lovely for a Valentine's journal. So we're going to try and make use of those. Yeah, and we're just going to see where we go with all of this. I'm not really too sure at the moment. I have picked out quite a few little bits of embellishment. These are from Scrimping Mummy's, Amanda's collection of the florals, I believe. There's also that which is part of the digital collection. These are taken from Scrimping Mummy's, I want to say Diary of a Lady, but they might be something else, not sure. But anyway, that's what I've taken those from. So they're all part of the digital collections from Scrimping Mummy. And if any of you did, isn't that beautiful? If any of you did any of Scrimping Mummy's weekly challenges, this was on one of her weekly challenges. And then we've got a little bingo card there with roses on. There's some more of her little florals there. This is actually part of the Georgian Romance collection, and as is that. And then this was part of one of her other collections as well, but was also part of the weekly challenges that she did. And if you look there, look, the rose is the same there. So yeah, so I'm going to try and use some of these up if I can. I mean, that looks lovely there, although it covers up. Mind you, it might go there rather nicely as well. That looks nice, doesn't it? I wonder if I want to just distress round the, I quite like that there actually, that's nice. The book I think goes well there because of the greens in that. I think that book works well on there. The love, can you feel the love in the room? Does that take you back? Gosh, what year was that? Is that too much on there? I think it might be. I think that might be a bit too much. We'll take that off for now. Maybe I can squeeze that in there. That looks quite nice. Okay. And then got a lovely teapot there. I think that's probably a bit big. Or we've got, I don't like those. What else do we have? Got some little butterflies that I haven't cut out yet. Might use a butterfly on that one. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to work on 3 that I'm happy. Oh, mind you, I've got that rose there, haven't I? Oh, that looks nice. There we go. I'm going to use that rose on there. I think that looks lovely. Okay. And then these I will use for actually stuffing in the pockets, which will be great. Okay, so we've got a sort of a semi-plan going on, haven't we? And now what I want to do is I want to decide about embellishing with some laces. Now, do I want laces on the front or sitting on the back? I quite like that one on there actually, with that being a little bit darker. Or do I want to take some lace down that way perhaps? Or going across the centre? How does that work? That's quite pretty, isn't it? With that going across there just as a little something there. Or we could, oh, that's nice. I like that. Okay, so that's the first bit I'm going to do. So let's just measure that out. Give that a little trim. And where's my Fabricacus? I'm just going to pop just the tiniest little bit of glue along the top there. And then pop that in there. Oh, my glasses are slipping off my head. Get rid of them for a minute. And then there. Tuck that in there. Oh, come on, that's a bit long. There we go. Let's pop that in there. I'm stuck to it. There we go. That looks pretty. Yeah. Okay, I like that. So that's a start. So we've got that bit done. I like that. That's nice. I want that to go on there, just to cup round that flower there with the bow. I'm just wondering if I want a little bit of inking. I think I will use, I am going to use, whoops, a daisy, a little bit of the Hickory Smoke, the Archive Link Hickory Smoke. Load up my, because I don't want anything too dark, but I think just a little accent of colour, just to give it a little bit of emphasis, I think will look okay. And again, I'll just re-emphasise, if you do anything that you're not particularly keen on, do you know what? You can just print them off and do them again. There we go. I think that looks nice there, doesn't it? So I like that there. But before I commit to it, I just want to see if I want to do anything else with it before I commit to actually attaching it down. Because I'm just wondering if I do actually want, and I keep using the word actually, let's not do that because that's really annoying. I'm just going to trim that up. Let's have a look, see if I pop that there and then that goes on there. How does that look? I don't like it. Okay, what about if we went that way round? How does that look? Not sure about that either, to be honest. And so the embellishing begins. Pop that on there with that there. Quite okay, I'm okay with that. Right, I do think we need something coming out from behind that book, and I'm just wondering what to use. Now then, that's that one, isn't it? Where's, there it is. Okay, so just a thought, if I put a little banner, perhaps a thin banner, I wonder if that would work. Let me see. I'm just going to take a thin strip of this, as if it was either washi tape or what's the word, ribbon. So I'm just going to take a thin strip of that. And this is why, peeps, you should never throw away your little pieces of scrap, because they come in such handiness, don't they? Now then, if I pop that there and then pop that there, I wonder if I turn that round, because I quite like that flower on show. So if I turn that round to there, pop that there, pop that there, what do we think of that? Oh, just had another thought. Hopefully I'm still in shot. Sorry guys, I do forget about you when I'm doing stuff. Right, if I pop that on there, and pop that on there, come along. Oh goodness. 20 million pairs of hands for crafting is always an added bonus. Right, and then pop that there. Oh, that's nice. I do like that very much. So what I'm going to do then, I'm going to cut that off about there. So that should now fit nicely across there. which it sort of does. Yeah, okay. And I'm going to glue a little bit of lace on the back there. Just make sure I get that the right way round. So that's going to go there. So I want the glue down that edge. No, yes, glue down that edge there. Come along. Oh dear me, my glue just does not want to come out this bottle. Okay, glue that down there. And then get this the right way round. Oh dear, where's my glasses? I can't tell. Yay, everything's on the floor. There and... Right, I think that goes that way around. So we're going to pop that on there. But I want it to come up a little bit because I just... Oops, a daisy. Come on, don't stick down now. No, sorry. I just want it to be just peeking out the bottom of that. That's just about perfect. Lovely. Trim that up there. That will sit along there like that. And now we're going to squeeze the life out of this bottle again. Oh, there we go. I've got all my Christmas shopping done as well, guys. I did my last bit of gift shopping. Sat in bed drinking my tea this morning. That's the truth. Which was nice. Love Amazon. There are other shopping channels, I would hasten to add, but yeah, I must admit I'm a bit of a staying kind of girl. Does the shopping online. And then I'm going to pop that there. I think that's fabulous, don't you? I love that. I might, and I say, oh, I don't want to glue all the way round on this, do I? I do not. So if I come to the top of that book there, okay. So let's do this for now. Come on, glue. Let's do that. There we go, that should do it. And then pop that on there. There we go. That's very beautiful, isn't it? I might just pop a little word down there, possibly. Oh, I think that's really pretty. That's lovely, isn't it? Well, I think it is anyway. Huh. That's nice. So that's that one pretty much done. I might put a little word perhaps on there. What do we think? How does that look? I don't like it at all. At all, at all, at all. No, it's completely the wrong colour, isn't it? Don't like it. Okay, I'm going to come back to that because I do want a word on there and I do want it to be sparkly. So I'm going to wait until I find the right thing. I know I have got either a peach or a pink background that will work better. And I'm not going to waste my time doing that right now. So I'm going to come back to that. Okay. We will come back to that. So for the moment, I'm going to say that's done, with the exception of a word, because I would like a word on there, but I'm going to come back to that rather than hold you guys up and bore you anymore. So I'm going to pop that over to there, because who knows, that might come in useful at some point. That's that one. So I'm going to pop that there for now. Okay. And then this one, that's just gorgeous there, isn't it? What do we want in here? I have got, what do we think of that as a little trim? Nope, don't like it. Okay. Tough call, huh? I'm going to go with the peach. You're all probably screaming at me now saying, oh my goodness, what are you doing? Right, I'm going to go with the peach because otherwise I will be here all day and that will never do. So I want to cut that about there, and I'm just going to take it in because I cut the other one just a little bit too big. That'll do nicely. Okie dokie doos. Conscious of my time as well. Used up a little bit of time faffing, didn't I? I'm really good at that. And then I'm going to pop that in there. There we go. Just straighten that up a little bit. How does that look, peeps? There we go. Well, I quite like it. I think I prefer that to the other colours I auditioned to it, so that's what I'm going with. I like the rose going across there. I think that's very pretty. The only thing is, this is only on whatchamacallit, ordinary print paper, and it's not very strong. I just wonder if I ought to put a little bit of cardstock. Oh, I'm sticking to my glue. Cardstock just down there, just to give it a little bit more. Let me just grab it. Have I got a bit of cardstock to hand? What can I use? Let me. Where's my cut-off bit there? I'm just going to use a bit of this cut-off so I'm not scrabbling around. Where are we? That's going to go there, so it wants to go down there. So just want to put this down here. Just to give it a little bit more. There we go. Okay, that's that one. Okay, so I've just stuck that on a little bit of cardstock, and now I'm just going to trim it up. Just and then it'll just give it that little bit of extra support when you're popping things in and out of the pocket. It'll save it getting all bent and buckled and nasty. Oh, come on. There we go. There you are. Okay. glue on that I've missed there. Okay. Lovely. Just trim around that bit there that I've missed. And round that bit there. There we go. Now that's tightened that up so that it's not quite so flimsy. And now that will sit very nicely across there. Okay, so that's what we're doing with that. Right, do we want a similar effect? That was that one, so do we want a similar effect of that going across there with a little bit of the lace hanging out? Let's have a look at that. And then when I've done this one, guys, I think I will call it a day, because you've probably been very patient with me up till now. So I'm going to pop that across there, I think. And then let's look and see what this looks like across here. So if I pop that there and pop that there, can you guys see? Sorry. Pop that there and then pop that there. Is that too much? I don't think that is actually. I think that looks really pretty. Okay, we're going to go with that again then. Nice. Love it when we make decisions. I'm going to cut that there. Okay, and this one, do I want it that way around? Yeah, I think I do actually. So we're going to go that way. So I want that to be cut roughly about there. Okay. Right. Well, at least I'll have got two done for you to see what we're up to. Do you know, I watch other crafters on these YouTube channels and they get so much done in an hour. I'm like, do they just have really good ideas, or do they plan this all out before the video? I don't know, is the honest answer. Because it takes me forever. The actual making of things doesn't take too long. It's the embellishing, I find, that takes me all my time. Does that look all right, or does that need to be a little bit further in? Maybe a little bit, if I can squeeze that up a little bit. Maybe, what do you think? Yeah, I think less is more, as the saying goes. Come on, let me move you down just slightly. How's that look? Perfect. Like that. So we're going to pop that on. What we would do if this blooming glue would work. Come on. There we go. Okay. That's that one. And now we're going to pop that across there, I think. Yes. Okay, so again, I just need to make sure I'm not putting glue where I don't want it. So, oh gosh, it's all the way down there. Right. I am literally just going to put glue down there. And going to go there and there, and then I'll work out then where I can just tuck glue underneath once it's in position. So I think probably there. Okay, lovely. Now I can probably get a little bit of glue in there. And maybe just the tiniest little bit of glue down there, just to hold that in place. And a little bit of glue up here as well, I think. Oops, I think I might have just put that where it shouldn't be. Let me just wipe that bit off. There we go. Okay. Right, that's nice, and I definitely do want a banner of a word there because I think that would finish that off nicely as well. That's that one done. Maybe I should have brought that lace just down a little bit more than I did, but I quite like the fact that it's just a hint of it there. So that's that one. Okay, so I'm going to call it a day. I hope you like what we've achieved this morning. Not a lot, I know, but at least it may have hopefully given you some ideas. Let me just tidy up and show you what we've got. So let me move all my Sharpie bits out of the way. Okay, move my laces out of the way. All right, so we've got 4 little pockets done. So well, I say done. We've got this one, which I'm just going to put a little wording down here. And that will allow things to, as you can see, nice little pocket there for you to stuff that with whatever you want to. So that's lovely. I like that one. And then we've got this one here. I think this is beautiful. Love this one very much. And then that one will just allow things to slot in and out there. So that's that one. And then we've got this one, which I will do in a similar sort of theme, but I'm going to use those flowers on that one. And again, the final one, this one, similar theme again, but I'm going to put that word love there, which I think is very lovely. And that's it for today. So I hope you like it. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more, where you'll get notifications when I've put anything on. And I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Take care, everybody.